Ever wondered why you can't seem to put your phone down, even when you have important work to finish? It's not just a lack of willpower. It's a sophisticated digital arms race designed specifically to bypass your cognitive defenses. The truth is, your attention is the most valuable commodity in the modern economy. Tech giants have spent billions of dollars to understand exactly how your brain processes dopamine, creating feedback loops that mimic the mechanics of a slot machine. Interestingly, this explains why you feel that constant itch to scroll. You are not just using a tool. You are interacting with a system that knows you better than you know yourself. But there's a catch. The more you engage, the more the system adapts, creating a permanent trap for your focus.
Most of what you've been told about saving time is a lie. Algorithms are engineered to optimize for time spent, not time well spent. Every time you refresh your feed, you are unknowingly participating in an experiment that measures your subconscious preferences. Think of it as an invisible leash pulling you deeper into the rabbit hole. This cycle is perfectly tailored to keep you in a state of passive consumption, which actively suppresses your ability to engage in deep, analytical thought. It is a brilliant yet dangerous design choice. By removing the friction from our digital environment, these platforms ensure that we choose the path of least resistance every single time. It is time to look behind the curtain and see how your biological responses are being hacked for profit. Why does your brain crave this constant stream of digital junk? It comes down to the variable reward schedule. This is the same psychological trigger found in casinos, where the uncertainty of the prize keeps the gambler coming back for more. In the digital world, the reward is a notification, a like, or a new piece of content. And because you never know what you are going to get, your brain releases a surge of dopamine every time you interact. Interestingly, this creates a biological dependency that is incredibly difficult to break. It is not just about entertainment. It is about keeping you tethered to the interface. The moment you feel the boredom creep in, the algorithm presents a new stimuli, effectively hijacking your natural cognitive rhythm and replacing it with a forced, high-speed consumption cycle. But there's a catch. This process is systematically dismantling your attention span. Research suggests that our ability to focus on deep, complex tasks is diminishing as we become conditioned to the fast-paced nature of short-form media. When you are constantly switching contexts, your brain never enters the flow state necessary for high-quality creative output. Instead, you remain in a fragmented state of shallow processing. This is where the real cost of social media lies. It is not just taking your time, it is eroding your ability to think deeply about the problems that actually matter in your life. By intentionally limiting your exposure to these digital loops, you can start to reclaim your focus. It requires conscious effort, but understanding the mechanism of the trap is the first essential step toward liberation.
To begin your digital detox, you must first acknowledge the frictionless design trap. Every app on your phone is competing for your cortisol and dopamine levels, creating a state of perpetual alertness that prevents true relaxation. If you look at your screen time analytics, the numbers often reveal a shocking reality. Hours of your day are being harvested by algorithms you didn't even notice. The strategy here is radical simplicity. By manually adding friction, like deleting social media apps from your phone and forcing yourself to access them only through a browser, you break the automated feedback loop. Interestingly, this small change creates a cognitive buffer, giving your brain the necessary space to decide if you truly want to engage with the content, or if you are simply reacting to a manufactured trigger.
Now, consider the power of intentional boredom. In our current culture, boredom is viewed as a deficiency that must be corrected immediately with entertainment. However, boredom is actually the birthplace of original thought and long-term planning. When you stop consuming, you start creating. It is in these quiet, disconnected moments that your mind consolidates information and solves complex interpersonal or work-related dilemmas. By reclaiming your boredom, you are essentially stealing back your attention from the architects of the digital trap. This is not about becoming a Luddite or abandoning technology entirely. It is about establishing a sovereign boundary between your cognitive well-being and the platform's bottom line. You are the owner of your focus, but you must fight to keep it in a world that thrives on your distraction. It is crucial to recognize that your attention is a finite resource. Think of it like a battery that drains throughout the day, and every notification you check, every email you open, and every link you click is a micro leak in your energy supply. Studies in cognitive load theory demonstrate that even the mere presence of a smartphone near your workstation can decrease your performance on complex tasks by reducing your available working memory. This is not just a productivity issue, it is a profound limitation of your biological design. To reclaim your focus, you must prioritize deep work sessions where the digital world is completely locked out. By setting these intentional barriers, you are effectively protecting your cognitive bandwidth from being exploited by external actors who profit from your divided focus. You are building a fortress for your own mind. You might be wondering, is it even possible to live a modern life without being hijacked by these systems? The answer lies in digital minimalism. This doesn't mean becoming a hermit. It means being ruthlessly selective about the technology you permit into your life. Audit your digital environment. Remove the apps that trigger your reactive state and replace them with intentional tools that serve your long-term goals rather than your short-term impulses. When you stop letting the algorithm decide what is worth your attention, you regain your ability to dream, to plan, and to grow. The payoff is immense. A sharper mind, less anxiety, and a genuine sense of agency over your own existence. You have the power to break the cycle. You simply have to decide that your life is worth more than a digital metric. The final pillar of your digital liberation is active engagement, which means using technology as a scalpel rather than a shovel. A shovel covers a wide area, collecting everything, whereas a scalpel allows you to cut precisely and extract exactly what you need. Instead of passively scrolling through feeds, use tools that focus on specific inquiries and creative outputs. Interestingly, this subtle shift in perspective changes your relationship with the screen, from one of submission to one of mastery. When you treat your digital devices as high-utility tools, the dopamine-driven feedback loops lose their power because your engagement is no longer reactive. It is goal-oriented. This is the essence of becoming a sovereign user in an era designed for captive consumption. You are reclaiming the territory of your mind, one intentional click at a time, moving toward a state of lasting focus. So, are you ready to take back control? The journey toward reclaiming your attention is not a single destination, but a consistent practice of awareness. By implementing the barriers we discussed, valuing your boredom, and practicing active engagement, you are building a cognitive architecture that is resistant to the hijacking of your focus. This is the most powerful investment you can make for your future, as your ability to concentrate is directly linked to your ability to solve the world's most daunting challenges. Before you go, reflect on this. If your attention was a currency, would you spend it on the things you are currently seeing in your feed? If the answer is no, start today. Change your environment, change your habits, and regain your sovereignty. Thank you for tuning in to learn something, and remember to keep your focus locked on what truly matters.